Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast, episode 81. We are so excited. We are listening to your feedback. We're listening to your notes, so we brought back one of my favorites. A guy, and I've said this about a few of our guests, but I feel like I could talk to this guy for hours. You could, if we did a 10-hour podcast, it would be effortless. One of my favorite people. He's a very, very, very talented comedian and a very talented writer. And Nick Anthony is back from episode 70. He's just a fun guy to talk to. I know you guys are going to love our conversation. Some of it's real smart. Some of it's real silly. Some of it's about drugs. Again, drugs has been a theme lately. My fault. It went from being a wrestling podcast to being to like a sportsy podcast to being an interview podcast. Now it's almost like a drug podcast. But I assure you, we're going to rein it in on the drug talk soon after I do my mushrooms. And we get that out of the way. You know, once that's out of the way, there'll be some new thing I'm obsessed with. You know what I'm talking about. Great shows this weekend in Connecticut. Me and Randy were out in Connecticut. Buddy Chase Abel came to hang out with us. Also a very funny comedian from Boston. Adam Ray swung by and hung out. He was opening for Dane Cook at the Mohegan Sun, and he swung by and had a drink with us, and it was great to see Adam Ray and Chase. Also, a girl came to see me perform with her mom and her husband, who I adore. I've known her for a long time. She's a new member of the Patreon. Her name's Lindsay Gray. She came to her 20th Jeff Dye live stand-up comedy show. So big shout out to Patreon subscriber, my friend, my family, Lindsay Gray. I love you so much. It means a lot that you keep coming to the shows and you keep enjoying yourself. And now you're a Patreon member. You're going to get so sick of my voice. But that being said, if you want to be a Patreon subscriber, go to patreon.com/JeffDye. You'll be able to watch the podcast every Wednesday online at All Things Comedy, at Patreon, wherever you get your podcasts. I think actually if you want to watch it, you have to go to the Patreon. But to listen to the podcast for free, for all you people out there that don't want to subscribe, just go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast and hit subscribe to our podcast. It's completely free. Also, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get free tickets. So, Lindsay, you could have saved, I think, hundreds of dollars if you'd have been a Patreon subscriber sooner, going to 20 shows. But we would love you guys to subscribe. Some of our newest subscribers, Tabitha Putnam, my formerly Tabitha Hess, before she married my man Kev. Love you, love your daughters, love your husband. Thanks for subscribing. That's my sister, by the way. Tatiana Redko, welcome to the party. Welcome to the Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. You've been friend-zoned. Riley Smith, welcome. Robert Galvin, we love you guys. Thank you so much. Podcasts are very expensive, and it costs a lot of money to do this kind of stuff. So we want to do a ton more things, but it's expensive. And so you guys investing in what we're doing makes us so happy. Without any more ado, let's get into episode 81. Enjoy, my friends. And we're in. The Jeff Dye Friendship Podcast, putting everybody, all my guests in the friend zone. And unless I want to have sex with them, of course, then they're in the friend zone and I have sex with them.
This would be a weird place to lose my dude virginity.
Yeah, this is it.
It'd be a great place. But wouldn't it be great, though? Would you feel a little more comfortable than if you were in some, gross, dirty hotel?
It's not
you're
weird.
I don't want anyone to know about this. You're surrounded by toys. There's video games.
It's not a sex dungeon. It's more like, oh, look, Harold Brown's card. Weird.
Yeah, just King Griffey Jr.'s autograph.
Yeah. That voice you're hearing, you might recognize from episode 70. Our good friend. He's the man. He's just doing his thing. He's living his life. He's creating. Great artist, great mind, great magician, fantastic comedian.
Why do you bring that up?
I like it. I think it's a fun credit. World renowned.
Are you putting those those days behind you, or
I mean, I also pole vaulted in high school. Should we
Oh,
bring that
I
up?
see what you're saying. You don't do it anymore, so you should. Oh, I see.
Like, should we?
I didn't know you don't do it anymore.
It's too potent. It's too. It's like
potent.
I don't know. You can't. You tell people that, and it's like they can't. It's like a dog on a bone. They can't let that go.
Oh, I see.
Like I will get harassed until I either have to be like mean to them to let it go, which
Yeah.
sucks. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Or I have to do fucking magic, right? And it's like
yeah,
I just did so. I understand. Like if I were to meet somebody that they're like, hey, you were a whatever pianist or something,
Yeah.
you're really good at it, and then you did it so much that you just don't want to do it. It's tragic. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that sucks that you don't want to do that thing
That was
anymore.
a chapter of my life.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. Someone would have to pay me. Like a couple years ago, Pat we were talking about having like weird sets. Pat McAfee hired me. He loves magic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then I was on my way to Asia and I needed some money. And he was like, just kept upping the dollar amount. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
To a certain
Yeah.
extent.
And then I went on stage and it was awful.
Oh, really?
It was a terrible situation. The crowd wasn't even paying attention. And then he went up after and also did really bad. And so it was like, all right, fine. This was just a bad situation
tough.
for all of this. But I think that's the last time I did it professionally. And that was like years ago.
And even then, your heart
wow.
wasn't in it. It was just like a cash grab for a
Total-
friend.
It was just so I go on that trip.
Yeah.
And the trip that I eventually I'm working on this book right now about. So it's like, now that I think about it, it's like a cool story. Like potentially magic was still part of my goddamn story.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good analogy though. That like I used to do pole vault in school, but you wouldn't still say he does pole vault. Like, not now.
It's just socially, I remember being awkward and then going like, oh, cool. Here's the thing. Now people like me.
Right.
yeah.
And then you got so good at it. It was like, I could just push this button and now people are my friends.
Right.
And then my ego started to get in the way of like, oh, you don't think I can't
Do other things.
Yeah, you don't like in my head
you
to
need
myself.
these tricks
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
me. Yeah, it's kind of
like
switched.
yeah. And then when I started doing comedy, it was like it was I felt like I was flying because I didn't have props in my
Right.
hand anymore.
Well, here's a
And-
question for you. I know you don't want to talk about magic, but there's a show that Justin Willman has on Netflix that's like all these magic things. Do you know how he's doing any of that?
Yeah, no, I
Oh,
mean,
you do know some of that. You know how he's doing some of that stuff.
I mean, I was a world champion close-up magician.
Right.
Like not that I've kept up my skills and like the stuff that they're doing now with like cell phones and
They've
they're-
modernized some
yeah,
of the
they're
things.
doing some really, really cool stuff. There's another guy, Justin Flom, just did some stuff that was I liked. And when I go to the Magic Castle, I'm still a little kid. I
Right.
still love it, and it's really fun. And there are times when I am straight up fooled.
Right.
But I don't know how to say this without being like egotistical. Like when you just get so like. Let's say I was, I don't know, a ballet dancer or something. It's like, you know exactly what's going on. You're not fooled by.
I'm an elitist about comics. Like when I see stand-up
Absolutely,
comedy and I
yeah.
hear a bit, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can
Yeah.
kind of figure out where they're going sometimes, or I
Yeah.
know exactly what little tricks they're using.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so it's the same thing.
And even at the highest level, like you can go like, oh, Chappelle, even when he's doing
Yeah,
something, you're like,
he'll use a
oh,
little-
He's like, I was thinking about that actually on the way here. When he does the copper thing, because there was a cop following me and he just wouldn't keep going. And you naturally want to get into that, copper voice, like that 1930s.
Why you traveling so close?
A lot of
Copper?
people like
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
like unique to Dave Chappelle, but he did that in a bit, and you're just like, oh, he gets, that
Now
was
it's his.
Yeah, it's his
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Or like even on his last special, how he would tap the mic on his knee
he
and like
does that all the time.
run
yeah.
around laughing at his own stuff. Like as a way to tell them, like, hey,
It's a
This is
punchline
funny.
indicator.
we're joking here.
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
is-
being serious. You don't
Yeah.
have to take it too serious. We're all having a good time.
Yeah.
But anyways, so my brain is so simple. Then when I watch Justin Willman on that Netflix thing, I'm just like, he's a warlock.
Yeah.
There's just no way you could do this. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. So like
Burn him
that's
at the stake.
in
Yeah.
fact, I watched it with a girl, and she said she refused to believe that he was doing magic, and just was like, "Oh, it's just television. They're just using like editing tricks and like."
No.
And I was like, "Well, they wouldn't give him his own show if they're doing TV edits. Then they could just make me a magician on the show.
Yeah.
Like that's not. It has to be real
No,
magic."
there's some really clever stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like, and it's getting. I think what happened was the internet kind of messed up magic there for a bit, where like everyone could go online and just
learn.
figure it out.
Yeah.
And so the classic like magic store magic tricks that would, because there wasn't the internet, you could literally like go spend $20, go be the life of the party. No one would know what the hell was going on.
Right.
And now you can just Google all that stuff. So and I haven't really had this conversation with any magicians, but I believe what it did is it forced everyone to now be super creative.
I love that.
And it made everyone go like, okay, well then I need to create my own stuff then. And more like how comedians are, where it's like they're in those circles at that top level, theft is not a thing.
That's great.
But at the,
lower
regional
ranks,
level or the,
I think that's a good thing too, because you'll be at a party or whatever, and someone will do like a really dumb magic trick, and you're like, all right, you Googled that. Like, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
So, but it makes, then you see like
that
stuff.
is very on brand for you, by the way.
What? What is?
I'm not impressed. Oh God, I bet you just learned that on the you're the toughest guy to impress.
Well, no, not at all. What do you mean?
I think so. I feel like I've never told you anything where you're like, oh, that's interesting. You just go, yeah, I've heard about that. You're like,
No.
I can't.
Well,
like,
maybe I've heard about it. So if I've heard about it, then
story,
he was
there's-
being gracious about the script.
Well, no, it's because he's young, and so like he has always had the internet, and he knows a billion more times than of everything that I've. He knows smarter than me. He's a smarter than me guy, and he knows other things. But he it's like it'd be like sending a meme like I saw that weeks ago. You're like, okay, well, just send it to you. I'm trying to share something with you and be your friend. Do I always have to be
you
treated
gotta be
like
quicker than that, bro.
Exactly, and that's your
gotta be quick.
competitive,
No.
unlikable, fucking I know everything attitude.
Believe me, I have it
Even
too.
now, in a vulnerable moment, you gotta be quicker than that.
You gotta be quicker, dog.
That's on you, dude.
You want to impress me, you gotta be more fucking impressive.
There you go. What a treat.
Well, I mean, and my girlfriend has kids, and it's like they just know so much.
Everything. Yeah.
They know.
My buddy Adam Lyle, shout out to Adam Lyle. His son is probably one of the smartest men I know, and his son is 8.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
He knew the name of every Major League Baseball stadium. And he goes, which one's your favorite? He knew that I've been going to them all.
Yeah.
And I said, Pittsburgh. And he goes, PNC Park? And I was like, yes. The one in Pittsburgh is the one I like. Everyone's commitment to information is so obnoxious.
Yeah.
It's just it's all day. Everyone just going, look how much more I know. It's very elitist.
Yeah.
I know more than I know. It's like, okay, nobody's even enjoying the conversation.
Yeah.
It's a big pissing
You
match.
literally just said that you are the same when it comes to comedy. So
about
maybe
one thing in my life.
Okay, so
and I
maybe
actually
people
don't
are
even
the
like
same
that
things.
trait about myself.
So maybe the same way about people with just trivia. I don't know.
That one trait in my life about comedy, when I do that, I even get annoyed at myself with that I'm being that way about that one subject. I think it's a very unlikable. It's not a good thing that I'm sitting in the back of the room watching a guy make a whole room laugh, and I'm just sitting there almost like jealous, like, I know that trick. I could do that trick. Like, that's not a good. I'm not bragging about that. I was sympathizing that he does that with magic a little bit.
Now it's been it's like when you have an old girlfriend and you you pine over for a little while, and then eventually it's not that you get over it.
Yeah.
It's that you just forget. And like that's kind of the saddest part about relationships sometimes is that it's like, oh, I just kind of forgot that person.
Right.
And it's like that's fucked up, but that's how I feel about
It's also a Taylor Swift song.
Is it? That way?
Recently, yeah. That's real.
God.
She's like,
There's
just
gonna be a
came
meme
out.
of me saying what I'm saying, only it's Taylor Swift.
No, I'm telling you, there's a new song on the new album that's like, she's like, I'm not mad. I just forgot that you existed. Like she's just being like, you're not even important enough for me to be mad at you. I'm so indifferent to the whole situation because I forgot that you existed.
But I'm saying like without any sort of like negative connotation, the first girl I ever fell in love with, like I'll always have some, like it just, that's a part of my life.
Yeah.
And so it's like you think about that, whenever, but at this point I've just forgotten about it. It's not that I like healed myself and like, oh, I just like, oh yeah, that was like 15 years ago now.
I don't think we can clear this.
No, we can't. So you should stop playing it now, or people aren't gonna be able. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what?" It's like this happened a few weeks ago when you were showing the Benny Blanco song.
Yeah.
And then the people like commenting on Patreon, like, "How come it says it's unavailable? I can't watch it." Well, Jeff decided to play a song.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I also didn't know that
You
happened.
can get copyright claimed.
I didn't
And they
know
do
that.
it automatically now, like literally for like anything. Like they just
Right.
have like,
Well, they don't want to get sued, right?
yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
yeah.
Music's weird like that. Like I've been posting.
No. It's the people who own the,
Yeah.
like whoever owns Taylor Swift's music, like they have like some like it's
Bots.
just program. Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
just be like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a Taylor Swift
Yeah.
song in
That
this
happened,
video.
so I've been posting all these videos, and I hope this doesn't get jinxed. Like of like my NBC show, and like me doing Ninja Warrior, and me doing lip sync bet. I'm posting all those on Instagram TV, and they're getting all these views. The second I posted the drunk on the plane, because like I'm the drunk on the plane guy from this country music video.
Yeah.
The second I posted it, it was
Yeah.
like, your account has a warning. You cannot post things like this.
Yeah,
It was
music,
like,
they don't fuck around with that.
Yeah, it's probably just easier to find.
I have an old videos from when I was doing comedy on the road where I would lay in like a Beatles track or something.
Yeah.
From like, I don't know, 2003, and they're now getting flagged.
Really?
They've
Yeah.
been up for 20. I haven't even watched
Randy
them.
lost like 30 episodes of his podcast because he would open it with just like some song he likes from his
Yeah.
iTunes library.
Yeah.
And now all of them are unavailable.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why like for like my video game podcast, there's nice thing is there's a company out there that makes video game music. Like they take like songs
Yeah.
from video games,
Like
but they like
8-bit music?
they like remix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you could argue is pretty evil.
Well, no. But they use it with this Creative Commons. So it's like they make it for people like me who have like a video game podcast or make video game videos where they're like, you can use our music for free.
Yeah.
You just have to
Right.
like,
Kind of evil.
you just have to credit.
To make it closest to something. Like, I mean, that's very evil.
Well, no,
it's
they license it.
but it's like a skill to make something, because we
To go like, we can make it so similar. I know you want to use that one.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll give you a service where you can use something that's basically still ripping them off, but now it's like that's.
Well,
Do you see what I'm saying?
But
Like
they
that's
license the music that they make.
that
Yeah.
they make.
So if they're taking a
I
song
get it.
from
I know. I
Super
get the
Mario,
scam. Yeah.
they're licensing the song from Nintendo. So
Oh,
it's not like
they're still
Nintendo's
giving
getting
them-
ripped off.
Oh, all right.
They're licensing it to remix it, and then now they own the remix, which they give out for free.
We did a thing called the post apocalypse, where it was me playing the dude from Walking Dead, and we found a guy.
Oh my God, you look like him.
Yeah, we found a
He
guy.
looks like Rick.
I've never seen this show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You do look like Rick.
There's a thing on Funny or Die. There's 8 episodes of a show where basically the premise is that the virus has been cured, and that everyone's trying to now assimilate back into normal life, and everyone's having a real tough time because they all have PTSD and they're like, still
Yeah.
murderous killers.
Yeah.
But we found a guy who that's what he does. He made a piece of music that sounded basically like if you weren't paying attention, you'd be like, oh, that's the Walking Dead theme music.
Yeah.
Right.
But then when you listen to it, you're like, no, it's not that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not that at all. But it
Yeah.
satisfies that. And it was very clever, I thought. But yeah, it's you. what you're
My
s-
sister's ex-husband's family, so some family member of theirs, that's what they would do, is if you wanted like a Weezer song
Yeah.
to like come out of the stage to, he could make something that's just close
Yeah.
enough. And I always remember that's why it was making me kind of cocky about the video game thing, because I was like, I remember like judging him, like that's kind of evil.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh.
want to play the Weezer song when I walk out on
No,
stage.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And-
this company's making like the actual song. Like it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like WCW used to do that. Like DDP's music was
Right.
Nirvana, but like the notes were switched.
Yeah.
So it
Super
hits your ears weird.
evil.
Yeah.
But no, this is like it's literally the song, the same notes, and like
Yeah.
everything. There's
It'd
just,
be like I changed Jeff Dye's joke where he says "man," I say "guy."
yeah,
And where he
right.
says dead, I say deceased. And you're like, yeah, but you're still doing the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
We know
yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's just like a weird facsimile at that point. It's like seeing an artist who's too close to another artist. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're just the shittier version of that other thing.
Which is
Yeah.
weird. Oops.
Nice broken phone.
Which is weird. We were just kind of talking about this. So Tim Dillon does this thing. You know Tim Dillon?
I don't. He's gonna be on our show actually, though.
You'll love him. He's fantastic. Bit aggressive, but he's great.
Yeah.
His fans are aggressive too.
They're all aggressive. Yeah.
Like in
Um,
what way?
Like there's no chill. There's no like, oh, we're just gonna. It's very intense.
Yeah.
Everything is very. It's a hard.
And he's very smart,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like he used that, but there's an aggressiveness to it.
But I love him, and he's a great man. And I actually like, but I feel like even after a week after our conversations, I kind of got into this like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's charged,
Like
you know?
he could start a cult.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
he kind of is.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But what he's been doing to get a lot of traffic on the internet, because he's like kind of bored with stand up, is he just like he does like a character. He sits at a table in front of a green screen, and he says all these like things as the character about whatever's going on in politics, whatever he wants to do. Like Like, so he dresses up like Meghan McCain, and he dresses up like the security guard that was supposed to be watching before that guy
Epstein.
Epstein,
yeah, before. And so he just does these like great things, and it's very edgy and it's very funny. But if anyone else were to do the exact same thing he's doing, which is just a character, he's just doing a character with some well-written jokes, I think people would go, "Oh, you're just ripping off Tim Dillon." But it's like, he didn't invent that. Like, they're doing
like if
those,
SNL did it, then they'd be like, hey.
But even if like we did it, like even if I was like, "Oh, I got a good idea like that, like let's make one," they would be like, "You're just doing what Tim Dillon does." And I wonder when that started, because like, let's say I wanted to make musical parody. People would be like, "Well, that's what Weird Al does." And you're like, "Yeah, but he's not the only man that can do musical parody."
Right.
Or if I do prop comedy, like on stage, I got all these things coming out of a trunk. "Oh, that's Carrot Top." You're like, well, I don't think we used to do that. We didn't used to say like, "Oh, hey, stand up. Wait, what are you doing?" That's what, Jackie Gleason does. Like, it does,
Yeah. Well, I think there's something like, it's the tall poppy syndrome a little bit too, of like, you want, like, I think the thing with magic specifically, to bring this back, the reason why I can kind of be clean and like, oh, I'm done with this is like, with, let's say, golf, for instance, there was Tiger Woods. I don't even know if I have a full point here, but the idea essentially that like what validates it is who was the outlier that brought people to it, and are they the only person that's interesting, or is it that the entire, like,
is the thing interesting?
Yeah, like, is golf interesting, or is Tiger Woods interesting? Is magic interesting?
That's good.
Or was David Copperfield just amazing at his time?
That's good. That's a good way to think
like,
of it.
Comedy is like, there's a lot of famous, there's people surviving. You can be like a professional, and it survives in a lot of different places. And there's lots of different, a lot of people know a lot of different comedy. And I think because of that, I don't know, it feels, you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like it's more of like a thing that's valid on a larger scale. Like, it matters more, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you have to then ask yourself, like, let's say if I wanted to be just a magician, and it was like, all right, cool, I can, like, the Justin, he used to be Just Incredible, right? Justin Willman.
Yes. Yeah, that was his name before the Cupcake Show.
Yeah. And so that's a guy that, like, I would say he's in a class of maybe about 20 other guys that are at his skill level, like, and I'm saying that with affinity, like, that's impressive to get
20
to
of
that place.
anybody.
Yeah. Like, there's not that, but who's that next? Like, you would say David Blaine's probably, like, right? That would be the only other person that would be maybe
higher. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm, like, it's
fame wise. Yeah.
It's open
Penn and
to
Teller.
Penn and Teller, but Penn and Teller's been kind of like the lineage, like, they've been around for so long.
Yeah.
And he's kind of almost I feel like they've transcended it, because they've had TV shows and but yeah, Penn and Teller's a great example. They are often forgotten. I mean, they are amazing. Are really, really, truly talented. But in that respect, you said, then you would have to ask yourself, as a creative, where do I want to be in that?
Right.
Do I want to be somebody who's trying to be the outlier in a thing that maybe it isn't as large or whatever? Or you want to go, if I can get famous here. It's like, for an entertainer, it's like choosing if I'm going to go MMA or am I going to go NFL, and if that, then, like, what, where does my skill set land? And then you have to pull it all back and go, like, can you decide any of that? Or is it just the fucking fate of, like, you getting lucky?
I think that's been probably something that set me back, is those kind of thoughts. Whereas, like, instead of just,
I'm for sure overthinking all that right now.
Well, because like, whenever I think those thoughts, I'm like, dude, just do what you enjoy, and what, like, if that doesn't make you famous, at least you're doing what you enjoy.
Absolutely. There is this chess player in me that would like to be able to say I have some sort of control over my life, but at the exact same time, you have to just organically let whatever's going to happen be. No, it's a paradox. It's two things true at the very same time. It's we're on a rock floating through the sky, and none of this matters.
Yeah,
and then
but
at the same time,
it all matters.
Everything you do matters.
You're right here, right now. This table is
Absolutely.
very real. My mom loves me, and that means the world to me.
Right.
And I'm still a speck when someone's flying over and they see that. Like, it doesn't matter to that perspective. So, I don't know. I just That's why I don't do magic.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. We were talking about the internet earlier about how you can find anything you want it. Before the question, I would say like there used to be that guy in like 2001. He wore this like really shitty luchador mask. It wasn't really, but it looked like a luchador mask. And what he would do is he would explain how the jokes or how magic works.
Oh yeah, you're talking about.
And he was like,
I love that
on
you called
Fox.
it a luchador mask.
on Fox, this
Yeah.
man is going to tell you how all the tricks are done. He's like ruining magic. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
a jerk.
His name was, oh God, it's been so long. Stefana, the mask magician. Yeah.
He
totally
deserves no
exposed-
credit. He's a piece of garbage.
Well, but back to my point.
Is that it made everyone else have to be real creative. He was trying to retire the hacky magic tricks. But here's the thing. What the balls on you to not only do that, to think that that's your thing to do, but then also to get, I imagine they paid him pretty good to do that thing. Like he got rich exposing these things. And like that's a very kind of ballsy move.
no,
Larry Miller got so mad about that guy. Larry Miller's in a green room. We were talking about that guy just briefly. And he's like, I wouldn't let my kids watch that. And I was like, well, and I was like, because it's really, my kids like magic. And
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like they're just being lied to by a man who studied a thing. I want them to think that magic is real. And, and I thought that was a very honorable thing.
Yeah, for children.
Yeah.
But as an adult, like, I mean, and the craft of it,
Mhm.
like, what if we were stuck doing the same dumb shit?
Yeah.
And what if by doing that, it got the neck, somebody saw
It's
that.
tough to give that guy credit, though, for the creativity of the new ones. We don't know.
Yeah, no.
There's no way to know that.
I mean, it was a big deal at the time. That's when I was in the magic circle pretty heavy. And I remember like legitimate touring acts that like got fucked.
yeah.
Like they were doing like, people really didn't know what they were doing. And then they knew what they were doing. And it like,
I do feel like that every time on AGT they put like a woman in a box and like saw it in half. I'm always like, I thought we were.
I thought we moved on.
post
It's
this.
America's Got Talent, dude.
Yeah.
Come on,
That's
like
why
this is like.
That's why I like the Penn and Teller show when they try to get fooled.
Great.
And also, that's a
That's
great
a
show, but they
great
still
show.
protect magic though because they say, "Hey,
They don't tell you how
yeah,
it works,
they
which
go,
is great.
come here," and then the magician is always like, "Yeah, that's how it is."
Yeah.
This is that moment of shame.
Yeah.
Because they sit there thinking, well, and also they must know a little bit.
They know
like
a ton of stuff.
no,
man.
not
They're
Penn and Teller.
really
I'm saying
smart.
the magician must know. I've learned this joke or I learned this trick in a book somewhere.
No
and
one's
I maybe
going on.
changed a little bit.
That show's pretty original. I will say, like they're bringing on some pretty, even the guys that they're like, hey, we know how you did that. That stuff it's high level stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I think like, all right, I'm going to go do my stuff. Everyone's going to love me. I'm going to get a TV credit. I'm going to
Yeah.
have all these things. People are going to follow me on my social media. It's going to be great. But also, I'm pretty sure Penn and Teller's going to know how I did this because this trick is kind of grounded in a fundamental magic misdirection, right? Or no?
Not they are. I mean, some of it, yeah, but I would say at least 80% of it. I watch it and go like, this is really good stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe
Because I did like that show. I've only seen like 3 or 4 episodes. but-
it's not like magicians don't watch that and be like, psh,
Oh, really?
like, it's whatever. Like they're bringing on like random.
Is it
acts.
still on?
I think it's more popular in London.
I know
Okay.
that they did like their like latest season in the U.S. Like I feel like they thought they ran their course, so then they switched it. They Penn and Teller would do a new thing to see if they could trick different famous comedians. So like David Copperfield would come on one week, and they would try to trick David Copperfield.
Oh, nice.
Or
Gotcha.
I
doing
would
that whole
be
thing.
I would be a great guest host. I'd be like, I have no idea how you did it.
Yeah.
Every trick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a show that for some reason I feel like it's British now. I don't know why I think that.
Maybe.
They did it in England, or I think it's because they have so many international magicians on there now too. It's like there's so much creativity. There's this thing called FISM, which is the
FISM.
Federation
Sounds like
International
a cute little pet.
Federation International Société des Magiques. It's like French, I think.
Ah.
And it's the
And it's a
the
Pokemon.
Olympics of magic essentially, and it happens like every 4 years. And the guys, if you like, just as someday, if you want to just like grab some psychedelics and go to FISM,
Yeah.
you probably have the fucking time of your life.
Really?
Because you're seeing the cutting edge of like, hey, we're trying to not do anything that's like if this would be
Yeah.
the one place where we're going to showcase
Alternative magic, kind of like.
but not necessarily alternative, like the top. Like
Nice.
it's the Olympics of magic.
Sometimes I watch stuff and it just like upsets my stomach.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
like mentalist stuff.
Yeah.
David Blaine.
I'm just like, oh, like how did you know what word was in that book
David
on that
Blaine's
page?
coming to perform for the Lakers soon.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, David Blaine has done something. He's really incorporated, and I don't know to what extent. I'm not an expert on the like. He went like geek. There's this geek where you're like actually swallowing the sword, and you're actually like there's the
Houdini was like
circus
that.
tricks.
Yeah.
And he's taking that and he's going like a bridge too far.
Right.
And then in your head, there's no way someone would do, it's like
Right.
someone who like you wronged and they find out where your parents live and they burn your fucking parents'
Right,
house down.
yeah.
You're like, wow, you just went way too far with that, man. Like he's basically learned, he has his stomach, I think it's called like the human aquarium.
Yeah,
where he's
I know all
learned
about it.
how to
yeah.
just ingest things.
Yeah.
And then he can pull up one or, I mean, that's just like,
Specifically,
not
yeah.
a magic trick, but it's like just a
in
geek
fact,
trick.
half of the stuff he does isn't magic. But same with Houdini. Half the shit Houdini did wasn't magic either. He's like, hey, you're a strong guy. Punch me in the stomach. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a magic. That's like a fraternity trick. Like,
Yeah.
that's not. But same with,
And that's how Houdini died.
right.
Yeah.
In his mailbox. But he wasn't doing a show.
He just wasn't ready. The guy punched him before he could flex.
Yeah,
And
but I thought it was like he was like checking his mail or something. And a boxer was like, hey, I know that trick. It's Houdini. And like he literally just punched him in the stomach.
I thought, as it was explained to me, it was like backstage or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But what a dummy.
yeah.
How bad would you feel? You
He just
murdered,
ruptured his abdomen. Yeah.
you murdered Houdini on a trick.
You'd feel terrible.
But the
Or
one
you'd feel super powerful.
I did it.
Just walking around.
But the one guy, David Blaine, he did a thing, where he just he trained his stomach to be able to set on fire, and then also in the same stomach load spit water out to put it out. Like
Yeah.
it's like the weirdest.
It's
kinda-
just- yeah.
But it's not magic. It's just like a
Frogs
human
in his
body
stomach
trick.
and
But if
shit.
you take that and there's part of that that's like maybe not fully explained, well, now you're so far ahead of the audience.
Yeah.
And so if you take advantage of that knowledge that all right, I have this information over here, and then you do something that seems like just a card trick,
Yeah.
but now you're using this like thing where you went so much further.
He caught a bullet in his mouth.
Well, that's a thing that's been done for years. Like
Really?
that's an old, he did it in a very, very new way, which was cool.
Like a shotgun. Or not a
Yeah.
shotgun, but like a
was a
rifle.
rifle.
I've seen Penn and Teller do something like
the
that.
Penn and Teller, it's famously, I mean, you go back to like the 20s.
And they'd have, like,
Okay, now here's a question.
Yeah.
Is it a trick?
It just depends on which version you're seeing. I
What
mean,
about David Blaine's version?
I mean, he's for sure not. I don't know for sure. I
Okay.
would have to. If we watch the video, I could. I
Probably see if it's real or not.
I
That's
would.
so
I
crazy.
would have my opinions, but
I'll try it.
But not necessarily.
Yeah. Jesus.
I'm assuming he's not shooting himself in the I'm just at what I know
Oh,
about
yeah.
magic. I'm
Okay.
assuming he's not actually shooting himself in the face.
Okay.
But if there was anyone who was gonna,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's so
it'd be
wild.
DB.
Yeah. I
feel
mean,
bad
not
that
to
we're
ruin it for
talking
people,
about
but,
magic
like,
so much. Listen,
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the reasons why I hated it is because I got really good at something that I had to hide how good you had to hide the reason. Like like how Penn and Teller are doing, because they're just going like, oh, this is how clever we are.
right?
That part of it I really love, because what would happen is I used to do walk around magic where I would go up and
Close up, yeah.
while people were like waiting for their food at like a TGI Fridays. And I would do tricks and people would get so fucking mad because it attacked their sense of reasoning.
Right. Yeah.
Like it would fucking I'd be with a guy and girl on a date or something. I'd come in and I have to be really careful not to like talk to the girl too much because
Sure.
the guy was getting so fucking like upset.
Just a
And
bunch of chimps.
Yeah, and
My brain.
Yeah, and it would attack their sense, and they would hate it. They
Yeah.
would really hate I just can't figure this out. And I almost wanted to just be like, well, this is how it's done. I'm just doing it incredibly well.
Yeah.
and you can appreciate it like someone playing a guitar well or something.
Yeah.
and
These magicians are very deceptive.
Yeah.
Bunch of watch thieves, if you ask me.
yeah. Even that though is like when you see that done well, like getting a watch, like stealing
Yeah.
somebody's watch, is like fascinating.
Brian Gillis used to be my guy, dude.
Yeah,
You know that guy?
I don't know that name.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
He was like Johnny Carson's favorite magician.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd know him if you saw him.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
We were earlier talking about the internet and how Tony knows everything that's on it.
Yeah.
Here's
Which I
the
will not
thing.
apologize for being smart,
Yeah,
intelligent.
well, no, he is smart.
Well, is
Here's
he
the thing.
smart or is he just well informed? There's a difference.
It's hard to say.
Both. I can do my times tables right now, real
The guy
quick.
know the difference between that? You got to ask him if he
Am I smart?
4 times 3 is 12.
Because eventually we're all gonna have we're gonna have an implant. We're gonna have a Google implant. Everyone's gonna know everything.
Right.
And so it's not gonna be about the information.
I don't want to do that.
It's gonna be about
So
the
we lose
application
Jeopardy.
of the information.
Yeah. We lose Jeopardy. There's no more Jeopardy at that point.
Well,
No, I disagree because at that point it becomes creative. Because when everyone has the information, like if you're not in a place where like, oh, I don't know that or I didn't know it, it's like, all right, everyone knows everything. And now you get to a place where it's like, who can be the most creative with that information?
Yeah.
which is what Einstein said is more important than information, creativity, imagination, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, so since we were talking about that, what is something on the internet that you guys think people should be aware of? Maybe they already have, but what's something? What is it?
No.
What is it?
No.
He already knows.
I don't know what it is. What's it called?
No. You don't want to know.
What's it called?
What's so funny about
called
this?
Tub Girl.
Before we tell him what's hilarious, my girlfriend is a nurse, and I was like, "Babe, you gotta see this thing." And I was like, "You're gonna freak out when you see this," and she saw it, and she's like, "Ah, nah, I see stuff like that at work all the time." And I was
that's
like,
that's so gross. It's something that I saw when I was like 11, and it's like I see it in my brain right now just because you said the words.
I don't think
all
so.
your days of
No, man.
drinking in the back of a bar.
Dude,
Maybe.
what do you think it is? Let's play this game. Let's play this game.
I imagine some really
don't
overweight, gross lady like in a tub.
Nope.
Because I'm now thinking it's something you'd see like at a nursing place.
You got the tub part, right? There's a tub.
Yeah.
And you got the girl part.
Tub.
Dude, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
Your whole phone, the algorithm of everything.
Original tub girl photo.
Oh, God, I'm sick. I feel sick right now.
Adult plus 18 click to view.
Don't do it, dude. Do not do
It has
it.
to be verification
Don't.
that you're in a tub. Oh, he's developing wrinkles in the corner of his eyes right now. Those wrinkles will never go away.
You don't see stuff like this. She doesn't see that at work.
Oh, my God.
She was cool guy me, man.
You know what's funny? How many listeners do you think are like, wonder what this is? And they're going to see it now
Yeah.
too. No, I'm telling you, don't do it. It's not worth it. If you've never seen it, don't do
like
it.
the video in the Ring.
Oh my
I'm
God,
not
it
sure
is.
I have the right one though.
Yeah, you do.
How do you know?
Is there an arc?
No.
Does it arc back?
No, I've got the wrong one though.
Oh God.
I just got like a real heavy set girl,
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
and a
Hair.
dude is
Nope, there's no dude.
No, there's no dude. Do we?
Oh my
do you
God.
have it?
I think
I'm
I
not
have
gonna
it.
look it up. I refuse
I
to
just
see
have
it
to.
again.
I refuse.
I think now I got it because you said arc.
Oh,
But here's the thing, man. I don't think that's.
The validity of the.
dude, back in these days,
This was.
I don't know if you could fake that.
This it?
Photoshopping.
Oh,
That's it.
That is bad. I wanted you to give us something. I was hoping you'd share with the viewers
dude,
something
you
they
need
could.
to clear your browsing history. You're gonna be on some watch list at this point.
Well, it sounds like I'd be with everyone else on that watch
Yeah,
list.
but I think like there's like a statute of limitations where it's like people are looking it up now.
Yeah.
They're the real fucking weirdos. Back then, it was just the thing
Well,
you
it
did.
was like on
trying
college
to
humor.
catch up.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was a minute
Wow,
ago.
so what's she doing? Why is she like that?
Ugh.
My girlfriend?
No,
No,
not your
the tub
girlfriend.
girl.
The tub girl.
Who
Trying to
knows?
get into the psyche of tub girl.
No, you're trying to develop a project.
Yeah, like why is she thirsty? Is she? I
really-
watch a lot of nature videos.
I really
and-
don't feel well.
That was gross.
Yeah.
I was saying people should see something positive, like look up where the double rainbow guy is now.
Oh yeah, where is
There's
he?
a great video on CNN of they're like did a little package about who he is and what he does, and it's the most powerful.
I don't know who the double rainbow guy is.
Oh, he's this guy who had like a freak out. Not a
Viral
freak
video.
out, but he lives out in the middle of the woods. You really don't know much about him. It seems like he might be camping or like nobody knows. Nobody even knew what he looked like.
Yeah.
It's just that you see these mountains and it's kind of a little canyon. And all of a sudden there's a rainbow that's going from edge to edge. And he's like really excited about it while he's filming. He's like really having this powerful moment. But then while he's having this powerful moment about how big and beautiful this rainbow is. Another one is like behind it, and he can't handle it. Oh, double rainbow all the way. Oh. And then he starts crying because he's so powerfully moved by this double rainbow, and it's so sweet and genuine and like endearing.
And it's like a thing in pop culture now, like in a video game called Borderlands 2. If you go to this certain area of the map, like you can hear, like, you have comms and you hear different characters throughout the game. Yeah. And like it has nothing to do with the game, but you get to this one point and the bad guy they did his voiceover on that exact thing.
Oh,
He's
nice.
like, oh no way, double rainbow.
It's so great.
And it's like
it'd be like seeing two tub girls.
Oh,
it's really good.
It's way better,
dude.
But it's like he did like a Vodafone commercial. He was on a Smart Water commercial. Alaska Airlines used him. United Airlines, like all these people fell in love with this guy. But when you get to know who he is, and they show this like it's like a 4-minute video or whatever, dude, he's the best person on planet Earth, like the greatest man of like all time. But that's something you should look up. Where is Double Rainbow guy? I
saw
now?
a good one yesterday.
Yeah,
it's called Motivational Lizard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you should look it up on YouTube. It's like a minute long, so it's up your alley.
And it's a little lizard giving you motivation.
Kind of, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just like, but it's like a drawing in like Microsoft Paint.
Oh, really?
But like a really bad. It's supposed to like maybe look like Barney or whatever. But then it's just like little text on it. It's like you can do it.
I like that.
Like you're a champion.
Here's something that's
good little lizard.
Yeah.
That's not crazy awful that I found that the internet recently.
Better than Tub Girl.
Well, let's
move on.
Why'd you even bring it up?
You brought it up.
Yeah,
you did this to us.
Yeah, I tried to stop it. I tried.
I got to go to Europe recently, and you realize like this place is so old and it's changed hands so many times that I went and Googled maps of Europe plus population over time. And there's a video that goes back like 2,000 years, and it shows all of the different, like year by year, how it changed. So it shows like the Roman Empire slowly.
Nice.
And then
Who
in that way,
constructed this? Like,
it's fascinating. Whoever,
like a drawing, I'm guessing, obviously.
it's like a graphic. And the graphic every year it changes. So if you watch it, it's like 11 minutes long. If you watch it in time, it's
a lot of homework.
There's an incredible amount of homework because you could just watch one part of the map and be like, oh, wow, I'm watching the Romans trying to get into Scotland.
Wow.
And they never do. And then they subside and then they shrink away and they become the Byzantine Empire, which becomes the Ottoman Empire. And then like where France was, there was countries called like Burgundy and the Saxons and Prussia and Bohemia is
Under Prussia.
All of these things, it's like, it's a crazy, like I could watch it for, you just, because it makes you go like, wow, there's so many stories.
Yeah.
There's entire
that are just 1 second of time in that,
that are 300 years of time,
right?
That we don't even we have no like Burgundy was a country,
right?
Bohemia is a country that was around for a long time. There's the Holy Roman Empire, and then there's the regular Roman Empire, and there's all these like
there's ones that took Jesus.
Yeah.
You know those?
Yeah.
Those were old though.
That was when the Roman Empire was like at its peak.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. Seems pretty rude. You think they peaked when they were trying to kill Jesus? Is that what you're saying?
They had another foreign. Yeah. Well.
They were at their strongest, or were they at their peak? Because we got a guy who uses peak as a positive term.
I do. Yeah.
What do you mean? This is just a thing from?
Yeah, the word peak. It's like it's great.
When it's
awesome.
best. Like, oh, that's peak.
Gotcha. And you take umbrage with that?
Yeah, I think so. I love him. He uses it.
Yeah.
But then you said that the Romans were at their peak when they were killing Jesus. You know.
Well, they were.
They were at their coolest when they were.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've gotten down a weird.
Their largest numbers?
Wormhole.
No, I think they didn't get their largest numbers until like 400 years after that.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's weird that like in history you can talk about something like that, but like 1 year seems real long to us. Like just all those lives that didn't do nothing.
Well, what it does is it makes me a little like watching that video honestly made me I love being an American. I'm very proud of all that stuff, but it's like, this is just a blip. In the idea that like, oh, he's going to destroy this democracy. Like the fact that it's lasted this long is impressive, and maybe it could last longer, but you're literally at that point, it's like the Romans and like that, like not many have.
Right.
And like that's potentially we're in the natural order of things, and let's stop fighting it and maybe not taking our problems so seriously.
Right.
But
that is a good way to look at it. I mean, that's the positive of looking at it like that, is like, it's going to take a whole hell of a lot of time to really.
Yeah.
I actually listened to a thing. I don't know if I'm going to be talking out of school here, but it was like a whole lecture about global warming and like the crisis of all this different stuff, and about how it's not really a crisis. It's just kind of a little problem we have, and we've got to work on it. It's not like, at least the guy that I listened to talk about it, I'm trying to remember his name. It was a very confusing name. It's like, anyways, but he was like, no, like, listen, this is something we should definitely be considering. We should be having these conversations, but we shouldn't be panicking and doing all these like crazy things. What's that called when you're, I guess like be like, thinking things are a catastrophe, like a catastropheist,
Doomsday.
or like
Doomsday prepper.
Yeah, and he's like, they're making it seem like tomorrow the world is on fire, when really this is just something we need to work on, and it's something that we should fix, and that the spending the money on things that would maybe not even fix this in 100 years is money we could be spending now on sicknesses and kids that are dying now. And instead we're panicking like we're going to have the answer in 100 years now. No, the answer in 100 years, like, remember when coal was a great idea? And now like that's 100 years later, that's not the best idea.
Yeah.
And now our idea now might not be as good as an idea that's 100 years from now.
Yeah.
The problem with that is the scientists are all saying like,
he's a scientist.
The majority of scientists, like, I mean, and again, I have the same fear that like, is my opinion just the result of the things I'm hearing?
Right.
Because I am not a scientist.
Right.
So I then have to kind of pick and choose, like, this sounds like bullshit, this doesn't.
Right.
It's pure gut. Like,
Right.
I don't have any. For me, what I can say unequivocally, if I had trash or there was a chemical, it shouldn't be in the river.
Sure.
Like, we should maybe not do that.
Sure.
And so we should be just essentially cleaning up after ourselves.
Absolutely.
Like, that's just, but the argument is that these giant oil companies are simply not doing that. And they're knowingly putting enough pollutants into the water to not be arrested, but it's all political as far as like when, where that law, starts and stops. And eventually, there comes a point. At the same time, is it political hysteria that is fueling this?
I think a big problem when you have like one side who just is in complete disbelief of it. The other side, well, we had a politician kind of leading the charge and it kind of was presented as like a doomsday thing.
Well, that's the thing. All the things Al Gore suggested would happen didn't, and he was a very catastropheist guy that was going, listen, now's the time.
And I think having someone that half the people in the country disagree with as the front of that movement is a tough one.
But the Earth is like, so what?
It does feel political.
What he was suggesting was just like they say, like, I mean, it's a problem. It's not a catastrophe. Is basically what the conclusion was. It's like, listen, these are things we need to do. These are things we need to get things behind. What we don't need to do is go around acting like this, like the whole world's ending tomorrow, and then throwing all the money that could go into really great things into this one thing that is probably going to be something we're going to be dealing with for the next 100 years that we need to like take care of. And we're going to come up with solutions, and we're going to try things, and we're going to do these things instead of acting like, if we just make everything electric and we do all these different things, it's just not sustainable, and that we don't have a better idea yet.
Yeah.
And he was like you take hurricanes, for example. He was like, we think hurricanes are getting worse because the way that they measure hurricanes is by how much stuff it damaged. But we're just making more stuff. And we're building higher things. So we go, look, this one caused $80 million worth of damage when the last one only caused $75 million. So the hurricane's not worse. We've just put more shit in its wake. And so people look at the data, right? And this is with everything in the world. And my understanding of the last few years of like learning stuff is that what people do is they look at the data. They don't look at how the data was compiled or what the variables were to get that outcome. So it's like, you could argue and have a great bunch of data that suggests it, that says hurricanes have just gotten worse every single 10 years. But when you learn how they've measured that, your data isn't good. And that's the problem.
A tricky thing.
Well, that's the problem too. Is like a different data can tell a completely different story.
That's not science.
Yeah,
No.
that's just like, hey, this is where I'm putting the frame, as opposed to I'm putting the frame over here, and that's telling a completely different story. There were earthquakes in China, I think, that killed millions, like, I don't know, millions, but like a crazy amount of people that we don't think about as like these natural disasters that were happening. Is that the result of, just shifts, or, you put that in comparison to like, oh, our proximity bias, because like this happened in our lifetime and we can see it. And so it feels more valuable than, oh, these things have happened for a very long time. Now, that being said, I completely agree. We shouldn't be like, running around with our heads cut off or anything like that. But we should still be cleaning up after ourselves.
Yeah, and I think
mean, as a
and hold
species,
corporations responsible and these kind of things. But to like chain ourselves to cars in San Francisco, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not helping the problem. Or tweeting about it doesn't necessarily. One of the things that was in the thing that I found really interesting too was I just lost it. I'm trying to think what. Oh, what he was suggesting, what he was saying was that like there's a difference between science, right, and then just like ideas that you could find any piece of literature that did a study that found a thing. Studies happen every day.
Yeah.
You can find a study on any one thing. What scientists debate are these ideas. They're not debating science that's already finished. Like they've all agreed on that. That's when a thing becomes science, is when all the scientists can't disagree on it anymore. But that's when it becomes science. These studies and the data and the research, like there was like he mentioned this, there was like thousands of scientists who agreed that California, Oregon, and Washington would be underwater by now. Like they all theorized that like 30 years ago. Like, oh, this will all be with the plates shifting, all this different stuff, and weather and all these different things. Like the whole west coast of the United States won't look like this anymore. It'll be completely. They were wrong about that because that wasn't science. That was just their hypothesis and their theories and stuff like that. But I thought it was interesting because like I'll read stuff all the time and go like, oh God, that's so scary. Look, the University of North Carolina determined that there could be a possibility. And I don't even think that's not science. That's just some bullshit I read, and now I think I'm smart because I read a thing.
We're all one documentary away from having a different opinion about a whole bunch of things. And a documentary that I saw was about the super collider in CERN in Switzerland. And it's, miles long, and they're shoving atoms together to create dark matter or whatever the fuck they got going on over there. And they were successful. They created this God particle or whatnot, and they figured out some crazy thing. And it's the smartest people in the world all sitting there, and they're all in the same room. And back to what I was saying before, they're all crazy fucking smart.
Right.
And there's, in that documentary, he talks about at that place, it does become a matter of creativity.
Sure.
Because what it's about and to your point, it's about doing what's next.
Right.
So like right now, if you're like, I'm the guy who's trying to do time travel, it's like, well, unfortunately you're wasting, if you really are that smart, like now maybe we're wrong and that person will prove everybody wrong. But like the thing that we could solve next is things like, understanding why in quantum theory, why two particles exist at the same time, like
separate places.
Yeah. Like understanding that feels like the next threshold of like what is possible. And within that is also, hey, can we as humans coexist with our environment so that we can actually live harmoniously? And people like in Flint and places in the world where like
our
clean
solution, pretending that we have a solution now for something that's going to be a problem in 200 years from now, we're going to be so much smarter in 200 years. They're going to figure that, like, it's like what you're saying, like, why are you trying to fix time? Like,
but they think Miami's going to be underwater in 50 years. Like, that's like that's like a thing. Like,
they
like
felt
really,
like that
really
way about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the thing. It used to be science that smoking's good for you. It's like the science can kind of, not science, but like an idea. It was like a thing.
Those, to give the examples of when they were wrong, they were right about a lot of shit.
Yeah, I know, yeah, for sure.
They were right a lot of, like, hey, we, probably shouldn't fucking draw and quarter people, and like progress has happened. And again, to simplify it way down, it's just a matter of like, let's stop dumping random chemicals into oceans and, you know, like.
Well, that's good because I've never done that.
But you've
Zero
supported
guilt.
You support you don't you own it? You have a Tesla?
I have a
right?
Tesla.
They have a company that creates batteries that the argument is that the battery has a worse carbon footprint than a car that would use gasoline.
How? It emits no exhaust or anything.
To create the battery,
Right.
they create tremendous carbon output.
Huh. Yeah, see, again,
And-
going
and-
back to
and
my
the
other
argument-
point, that they think the solution for a thing is like electric cars and electricity. And it's the irony is that, like, look, even you're pretending that you're doing this good thing for the
Yeah.
world isn't. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why they're potentially doing that is because if you can shift the attention and the effort
mhm.
to the thing that you're making money off of, and you sell, again, we're all being sold stories because
Yeah.
our brains love stories. You're selling the story of this has to happen now. It motivates people then to buy
Right.
electric cars.
Absolutely. It's just
brilliant.
shifting money to a different
Yeah,
pot. Yeah, that's
yeah.
all it is.
And it's where the attention goes, and it's brilliant. In that respect, that's the part of my, like, that's the chess part of my brain where I'm like, I want to be able to be smart enough to do something like that.
See,
where
but
you
you
actually
would rather you
orchestrate.
use your powers for
For
good.
good, yeah. For what I don't think Elon Musk thinks. I think he's very benevolent. I think he
Yeah.
thinks he's doing amazing, and I argue that he is. But there is another argument that says that factory out, and I think it's in Nevada somewhere,
Mhm.
is creating, by what it takes to create just the battery for your car,
Mhm.
is worse for the environment than 20 years of gasoline exhaust coming out of it.
Hmm.
That's. And I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just,
I've never
I
heard
just
that.
know those are two different arguments. I don't know which one is actually true.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It sucks because you're like, oh, finally we get an electric car, and that should be
Yeah.
the thing. And then you're like, no, actually, to create this car, they pump a bunch of shit into
Which
the
is like
environment.
it's the same argument for eating meat. It's like why eating meat is bad is because we're giving all of our resources to the meat.
Yeah,
So like we're giving our resources to
water,
our
yeah.
food.
yeah,
And that's why it's bad
Yeah.
because you're just simply like, you know, like if a family was the analogy I like to use is if a family is very poor and you went to the door and you said, hey, you know, I know that you guys are going through tough times. How about I sell you this cow? And they go, well, no, we can't afford it. And it's like, no, it's fine. So here's the thing. The cow's going to give you cheese. It's going to give you yogurt. It's going to give you milk. That's all great. And once it gets old enough and fat enough, you know, you can slaughter it and you'll
Yeah.
have meat for like a whole year. And we'll sell you the cow for $1. And then they're like, oh my God, we have $1. Yeah, we'll buy the cow. And they go, oh, by the way, before I leave, he drinks about 70 gallons of water a day. And you've got to feed him about 40 pounds of food every 3 or 4 days. And they're going to go, what? And that's exactly what we do to ourselves in this Western culture of like thinking we deserve steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that this steak should be $6 at Chipotle is because it's okay to eat meat. Probably tastes very good, and it's got great protein and all this different stuff that you make arguments for. But we're giving all of our water
Yeah.
and all of the crops we grow,
Yeah.
which isn't even good for the cow, by the way, but like all those crops of corn and shit, and a ton of our water to our food.
Yeah.
And then we just slaughter it and eat it real quick. So it's like, it's bad for the earth, you know? And
Yeah,
that's the
no.
same thing with the Tesla battery thing. It's
Yeah.
like, it's doing a bad thing here
Yeah.
and then going thinking you're doing a fine thing here.
But inside of that, before people catch up to that,
Yeah.
people make fortunes.
Exactly. And that's why nobody wants to
Yeah.
tackle animal agriculture is because it's
Yeah, I mean, 50%,
literally-
I think, of California's water goes to the Central Coast.
Yeah.
Like some crazy, like,
and that's why you come up with dumb farmer cliches like I could never give up bacon.
yeah,
Oh, what a good argument. It tastes too
Yeah,
good that you don't
yeah.
want to make a change for the earth.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, farmers.
yeah.
All right. I love talking to you. I feel like I get a little smarter every time I talk to both of you guys. I feel a little ashamed and then a little smarter afterwards.
Well, that's real natural. I got all sorts of shit going on. I got good, bad, and still trying to unpack some stuff.
I know that you don't listen to the podcast when you're not on it. I'm probably not when
that's
you
not
are
true.
on it.
I
But-
follow you on Instagram, and I'll see clips.
Oh, yeah? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm going to try mushrooms in the next couple of weeks. For
you've
the
never
first
done
time
mushrooms?
ever. Never done any hallucinogenics, but I watched a whole documentary on it, and it
Oh.
made me feel
When
like
are-
I'm definitely going to do
You
that.
know, the novel I'm writing is called 2 Hits of Acid in Cambodia.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the one you read?
No, I haven't
No,
read
no,
it.
no.
It's
Oh, yeah,
still
so-
being I just I'm
Really?
currently writing it. Yeah.
I watched a whole documentary on the science of it, all the different stuff, and I'm going to try and find a nice, safe place, do that, and
absolutely.
yeah, I'm
I'm a
super
huge fan, yeah.
excited.
For me, I use I've only done acid. I think I did it that time I was in Cambodia, and then when I was younger. But mushrooms for me is it defrags my hard drive.
Okay.
I do it once every couple of years just to kind of like,
Right.
right my wrong. I like to do it when I'm traveling
Okay.
because it's just inherently like it.
You're so
Traveling
isolated, kind of.
it forces you to be in when I was in Prague, we took mushrooms and like I watched a kid blow bubbles on the street and it like made me feel like there was hope for humanity. You know?
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
it really, and I found these things, they're called trussel necks and they're essentially like tubes of what would be like a donut material.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put chocolate on the inside.
Nice.
And I just sat there and looked through this donut chocolatey thing, tripping out of my fucking mind. Just laughing.
Yeah, the
laughing
research
my
is phenomenal
goddamn-
about how
yeah.
like how it, that one experience would cause a I don't know if reaction is the right term, but it would keep them good for like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
So like if they were dealing with anxiety, they had their experience with the one pill, which is the same thing that's in magic mushrooms, and then
psilocybin.
so the psilocybin would literally create. Alleviate their anxiety or depression or alcoholism and smoking cigarettes, which was phenomenal for like 6 to 8 months. It would like that experience, because instead of it being like this high that you crave, like cocaine, like I need it every night, instead it does is it kind of creates a memory.
Yeah.
And that memory is an experience that like, I'm never going to forget when my sister died. I'll always remember how, and that's what the drug does. It takes you like inward, and that experience of that one moment you hold on to for as long as you can remember.
It's like getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's like you don't forget that day.
Right.
You remember that day very specifically. And if you can tether that to like when I was in Bangkok, we got bamboo needle tattoos. And when I think about this thing, I think about this very positive experience. One tip on mushrooms, I think what happens a lot, especially when I was younger, I would take it, you'd be like partying.
I don't want to party with it.
And then you'd take it at like 10 o'clock at night. And then, normally, even if you were just drinking, you by like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you'd pass out or whatever. With mushroom, you're going to be up for a while.
Right.
And so by the time you get to 6, 7, 8 in the morning, sure, maybe you had a really good time, but you're fucking exhausted.
Oh, okay.
Because you're just tired, and then you've been on this drug and you've been and it's just like a lot. I really recommend doing it earlier in the day.
Oh, okay.
Being able to like,
Experience it.
Yeah, get up, especially like if you can be in nature at all. It's just sunlight is just amazing, and like really getting out, and like if you can be somewhere outside, coming down still when it's light out, having a meal, and then being able to go to sleep at like a reasonable time is so much better. And I think if you could, medically prove its like medicinal effects, I think that would be better on your system.
Okay. Yeah, the only time in my life that I am a complete mess or that I'm like unstable almost, or like are kind of like even negative or depressed, is when I sleep. I have horrible dreams. I have to like coach myself in the morning to not be grumpy and not to be, and then I go through life and I'm very happy. Most people that know me know I'm a very jovial, happy guy. So I was afraid that the hallucinogenics would make my dreams just like heightened, like psychopathness. Like I was afraid of that.
No, potential. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
But
exactly.
Don't take too much the first time.
Okay.
Don't do more than, half an eighth is enough to where you're going to have a crazy, like nice experience, but you could even bring it, less than that.
Yeah.
But do not do more than half an
There
eighth.
was one guy that he said that like they gave it to him because he was a cancer patient. He had like stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah.
And so they gave him the pill as like a study. And this was like in the, I don't know, 80s or 90s, I don't know. Again, he was like having so much fear of death and like so much whatever that he qualified for this drug. They gave him one pill, and he's like, since then he goes, I can't explain it, but like that day I saw black smoke come out of my body, and I like was just happy for the whole high, and I was this incredible experience. And he goes, and since then, literally since that experience, I'll go to get checkups see if I'm still in remission, and I don't have that fear of it's just completely gone. I don't feel that anymore. Like I used to feel that. I used to feel like the weight of like pressure in my life and all these different things. He goes, and it's all gone.
Yeah, our minds, our minds are very, very, very powerful things. And if you can release or set down some trauma, it can change your life in a way that, I mean, my biggest fear when I look at like my relatives, like my old school Italian relatives, they're like 5 things happened to them when they were younger. And they never let it go.
Oh, yeah.
And they tore their clothes so they remembered.
Right.
And it's like, you're just angry and you're bitter or you're victim or whatever it was. And it's like, one thing mushrooms have done a good job of is like, I'm just setting that down.
Right.
And because of that, I feel like I've lived multiple lives in like I still have the core family and all that stuff's still there, but like we don't have a lot of old baggage.
Yeah, you're not like tethered to it.
Just little things like, remember, divorce or, how things can really impact people. And not to say that shouldn't or whatever. So I wish I would have gotten there. Like I talked to my mom about just like anxiety and stuff and like, she was very jealous when she was younger and how she like learned to let that go. But it took, not until she was in her 40s to really imagine you could have that at a younger age. You could be calmer and more accepting and all these things earlier. Then you get your life to enjoy.
Yeah.
And this idea of like, well, it was just meant to be. And it's like, no, man, we can make changes.
You can manipulate that. Yeah, exactly.
You can let, and I'm not a very political person and I'm not, Democrat or Republican. I don't give a shit about that. I just think Barack Obama is an amazing speaker.
Right.
Like I really think he's a great orator. And he gave a speech recently and just what he was talking about, how it's like, no, we can change this.
Right.
We can make it better.
Right.
And that, an articulate, charming, like somebody that like was a professor of constitutional law, like somebody who's really intelligent, who's been he was in it. He's not jaded by it. He was in it. And he went and, he's taking care of his family this last couple of years, but he came back to still say like, no, we can show up and do the hard work and life can get better. And this isn't like it's not just out of our control. It's like, no, there's more young people voting than there is ever. So let's go change it.
I love it.
And so to your point, I support your efforts to try to want to do something.
I want to try it once. I feel like there's a mental journey, I've kind of come to all these like conclusions in my life that I'm pretty firm in, but I don't want to get to the end of my life and go, maybe that was wrong, or maybe that was a mistake, or maybe that choice was a selfish choice instead of something that might be more rewarding, and I'm so concrete on those ideas that I want to just kind of find that, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm so stagnant about like I'll never get married and that might be blocking maybe someone I would be very compatible with that might make my life better. Yeah. I think I don't want kids and so to be so concrete in that I'm looking forward to taking kind of a little journey.
You're rigorously open-minded.
Yeah. And so I'm excited to kind of see what happens, and I feel very artistically fulfilled and like, I feel very blessed and loved in my life, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens.
I would do it during, this is just take it or leave it. I would do it during the day. I would do it with somebody else. So you feel like you have a buddy. Right. And it doesn't have to be a lot of people, just even one other person. Just because you will have a connection to that person that is, I brought LSD to Cambodia.
Amazing.
Like I had it. And, the first...
if you had gotten caught with that at the airport, what would have happened?
I would be in jail currently.
Okay. So,
yeah. So this is the end of, I think it's chapter 2, is me...
Say what you want about LSD. It's easy to hide. It's a drop.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you 2 stories. The first one is I had it on a little piece of paper, but he had put it in a little piece of tinfoil, and I shoved it into the corner of my wallet. And the end of like the second chapter of the book right now is me putting my wallet into the metal detector going, wait a minute, foil. The LSD is surrounded by, and it's like going through as I'm going like,
Does foil count? Yeah.
Fuck have I done? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, ticket in hand. I've never been to Asia, Southeast Asia before. And my friend was already through.
And it went through.
It just went.
Okay, good.
It was it's this bit,
Right.
like I'm not recommending anybody do
Like
this.
he probably just has a coin in his pocket.
I
or
did
something.
it if you're going to do it. And I had two there's no way you could, even then I could say I was a gum wrapper or something. Like,
That's true. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Literally like shoved in the corner. Like there's no way. There's
Right.
Literally like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
gotta
think
throw it away. It's a gum.
Yeah, I don't think a dog could smell LSD.
Right.
It's a victimless crime, really. But there was that moment.
It's an uncatchable crime.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Now I was in Amsterdam. This is way, way, way more reckless. I was in Amsterdam and we had mushrooms on us, and the Brussels airport had just been bombed.
Oh, okay.
And we took a train from Amsterdam to Brussels, but then we're going to fly out of Brussels and go to Prague. And I still had the mushrooms on me. And I was like, what? I can't not, like, we got to do these. It wasn't ready, like we don't force it. If you don't feel right, like don't do it. And we were in Brussels, like, it just doesn't feel right yet. It wasn't. And we were in Amsterdam and like, it just didn't feel right. And you can buy them in Amsterdam. So it was like, all right, cool. And so I ended up taking them and putting them inside of like, I don't remember what it was, like some sort of like, I just shoved them inside of like a
steel can, and I put that through the
still the can that says not a bomb. Yeah, and it was just some like a deodorant or something. Like I shoved it in like the space of the deodorant and like, but a drug in a very like clearly concealing something. I could have just put it in like food or something and probably would have never known.
Oh, yeah.
But I took mushrooms through the Brussels airport.
That's amazing.
And this was 2 weeks after the airport had been bombed.
Yeah.
And so when we get to the place, we're talking like, I've never seen an airport under this much military.
Right.
Yeah.
And the guy I'm with knows I have the mushrooms on me and is now freaking out.
Oh, no.
And I literally like short of like, come on, man, get your shit together. Like, I'm either leaving you behind. It's like that moment of like, you got to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Or you got to like, I have to get away from you because like I'm doing this. And he then, we got to do the mushrooms in Prague together and it was amazing. But it was like the cost of entry was smuggling them through a fortified
That's the worst
airport.
when someone else is, because that's going to affect your destiny. Like I feel like I've had girls do that to me. Like, we're just like, God, can you just get it together? Like, I'm trying to deal with my own. Yeah. Like, I can't control you.
Your side of the street is your side of the street,
worst feeling, dude. Well, I love having you on here, bro. Yeah. I'll keep you up to date on all that stuff.
I'm excited to hear your experience. And,
it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
You got anything you promote? Where can people find you?
I am, the barbershop shows is really the big thing. Just nicholasanthony.com is everything. Catch my Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. And we run this really cool show that you've done.
Yeah,
and,
super fun.
Yeah, we have 2 locations now in Los Angeles, one on the east side at Highland Park and one on the west side at
And if you're going to go to the show, make sure you pick the right blind barber.
There's 2 of them.
I went to the wrong one. I was like, this is it. I've been here before.
And if I show you the text, I specifically say not the Culver
Oh,
City
really?
one.
That sounds like me. That sounds like something I do.
But you're not the people. It's just
because I just like blindly was like, it's a.
Yeah, I know where it's at. I do it all the time.
Yeah,
but
I've done that with lots of
that,
things.
and I've picked up some. I'm going on to do some cruise ship work to pick up a little bit of cash so I can finish the Unlikely Assassin.
I'm going on a cruise in February.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Going to Mexico.
Yeah, right on.
I love.
Yeah. So
I don't love cruise ships, but
I hate. To be honest with you, I can't stand it. It's a cash grab so I can finish the Unlikely Assassin stuff.
Nice.
Get some fun.
Yes, we need to see more of that.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
Tony,
I saw that guy, the guy that's in it.
Cash.
He's in a commercial, and I was like, God, what is that? I was like, oh, he's in Unlikely Assassin.
He's also in Future Man. He's in the most recent season. He's a reoccurring character. Yeah.
Future Man.
It's a Hulu show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what's his name? The stoner Jewish guy. The super famous person that I can't remember his name right now.
He's
Seth
Jewish
Rogen?
and he's like always a stoner.
It's Seth Rogen and
nice.
they're the executive producers. That's their thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have something. November 2nd, Saturday.
I saw this on your Instagram.
Yeah.
This is a very cool thing you're doing.
Saturday, November 2nd, I'm doing a 24-hour live stream for charity. We're going to be playing games for Screen Peekers. It's for this charity called Extra Life 2019. They raise, or just Extra Life, that's their thing. And they raise money for Children's Miracle Networks, hospitals. Cool, and just thousands of gamers doing 24-hour streams all over the place, raising money for like their own local hospitals. So like we'll be raising money for a Los Angeles hospital here. So it'll be 24 hours of gaming, which is
sounds fun,
insane. It's gonna be tough. Having people come hang out. Like JD Witherspoon's gonna come hang out and play. CT's gonna come play and hang out. And yeah, it's a really great cause, and it's gonna be fun and intense. So my biggest fear is setting all this up and working so hard on it, and then like no one's in the stream, no one's watching, and no one's whatever. So
will other people be streaming for like this charity thing? Is this something a lot of people will be doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so it's gonna be tough, but
spreading the streams out.
It is. It's gonna be tough, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's something that is important to me. It's something I've been wanting to do, and then I'm really looking forward to being hopefully to give back. And so yeah, it's gonna be again November 2nd, Saturday, 10 a.m. It's when it's gonna start for 24 hours on twitch.tv/ScreenPeekers live. But just follow me on social media at I am Tony Reavis, and you can get all the updates and stuff there. And yeah, I'd love to have you guys come join and hang out and chat.
Very cool,
and,
man.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Right. It's gonna be fun.
For all my dates, just go to jeffdye.com. I'm coming to Charlotte soon. Coming to Vegas soon. New York in December.
Where are you doing in Vegas?
Chicago in December. What's that?
Where in Vegas?
Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club.
Cool.
And then I'm doing Comedy Zone in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Doing Gotham Comedy Club in New York.
Is that getting a good? Is Kimmel? Is that?
No idea.
Yeah.
Vegas is always such a wild card.
It's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm excited to. I'm hoping that this is ideal for me. Is I'll do Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. I'll fall in love with it, and then I'll kind of become my regular Vegas spot.
You just need one good spot.
Vegas is just brutal. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a good show in Vegas. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, like they just were old. The audience was old. Yeah. They hated me.
I was in there for a long time, and then I grew. I would have one set amazing and one set, and I really felt like I was just like, I love Brad, and when it was good, but then I just go on stage and I'm like, this just doesn't feel
it's
like.
It's not a town where people are going to see comedy.
Yeah,
especially not at my level. They're not coming to see guys like me. Like if you're going to go to Vegas, you gamble, you see a big show, you see a Cirque something, or you could see Jerry. You could see like a big, Lady Gaga's there like every week, Drake's there every week. Yeah. So it's like, you kind of come to me and it's underwhelming as far as star factor.
And it's kind of like open micers in Los Angeles. Like no one's going to go see open micers when you can see Dan Cook at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah, so it's underwhelming with the celebrity factor, but then also they're like older than me, and they just kind of look at me like, well, he's not making fun of his wife. Like,
the young guns are just out there partying. Yeah. They're not going to go to a show. They're spending their money on booze.
Hopefully this will be good. I've heard really great things.
That's good.
And I think Jill Kimmel might be opening up for me, Jimmy Kimmel's little sister.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she's a good friend of mine. She's from Arizona. She's awesome. So whenever I do Arizona, she opens for me, and she's the best. She should be headlining.
There's a local scene there now too
in Vegas. Oh yeah, I've always known the local scene, but it's always been real small.
Yeah.
So maybe it's bigger now or something.
Yeah, it's the city is becoming a city now. So it's like, I remember when I was a kid, it just felt like, this is a town transient. Now it's like there's, with the teams being there, the Killers came out of there. Now it's like there's culture is starting to
I like that. Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll help the comedy club. But I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being on here again, bro.
Thank you for having me, man. This was awesome.
Friendship.
How about that for an episode? Hey, guys, if you enjoyed this, go to wherever you're listening to it and hit subscribe. Give us a rate. Give us a review. If you want to invest in what we're doing here and keep this going and keep this thing alive, go to Patreon /JeffDye. And you can subscribe and become a member for $10 a month. You get free comedy club tickets, and you get to watch this podcast fresh each week. It would mean a lot to us, and we love you. Either way, no matter what you decide to do, thanks for tuning in. Hope you come back next week for episode 82.